Hello everyone, today I will be redesigning the main 6 from My Little Pony. Of course, I want to do all 6 of them, but I decided to start with Rarity since she's my favorite. For the original designs, I used the 3 images you see at the top of my canvas as reference images. So I started this process by drawing the general body shape that we have in the show, and then I modified it a little to give a specific body type to each type of pony. I made the earth ponies a lot sturdier and tougher. This is because all the other types of ponies have different ways to help them if they get in a sticky situation. A unicorn can use magic and a Pegasus can just fly away. An earth pony can do none of these things, so they either have to fight or to run away. I modeled this version of ponies on a lot of different working breeds, and this resulted in them having longer body fur. And the biggest change is that I swapped the horse ears for longer ears. That was halfway inspired by donkeys, and this is to give them better hearing, and just because I wanted to give them something extra to set them even more apart from the rest. In contrast, the unicorns became a lot slicker. I elongated their legs and their neck. I gave them long floppy ears like some pedigree dogs have, and I also swapped their tails to a more classic European shape. This is all to give them a more elegant sort of look. They also have short body fur generally, but just a little bit of fluff towards the hoofs because I just thought that was cute. For the last body type, I made the Pegasus a lot smaller and their wings a lot bigger. And this kind of proportions would obviously make them fly better, something which I'm sure Rainbow Dash would appreciate. They have short body hair and a trail of feathers down their back which blends in with their wings and their tail. The reason behind this is that I wanted to bring the motif of birds more strongly into their design. For the poses, I decided to put them in the same poses that they have in the top left reference image. So now I'm just sketching the general shape of Rarity's pose. I think this is a really good pose because it makes a triangle shape and it leads the eye to look directly at her face. I want every unicorn to have a slightly different horn shape, so I give Rarity a sleek and dainty horn that curves backwards, which I think adds to her elegance. Another thing I decided to make unique for every main 6 pony is the accessory shape their element takes. In the show, Twilight has a tiara and all others have a necklace. I wanted to change that and decided that an elaborate drippy earring would fit Rarity's design nicely, and it would look pretty on her longer ears. I like asymmetry, so on her other ear I just added some simple earrings in contrast. I also gave her a shiny but not magical necklace to complement the earrings, because if any pony is going to match their jewelry, it's Rarity, and you know it. Now that I decided I'm pretty happy with how she looks, I went ahead and started doing her line art. I decided to give her little beauty marks under her eyes because I thought it looked cute. 2 on her left and 1 on the right, keeping the symmetry of earrings. Also, she got some arched eyebrows and that big dramatic lashes. Rarity's original hairstyle looks like one big curl, so I broke it up and gave her the Hollywood star curly hairstyle, which softened her overall look up. Of course, I understand that this, as well as other different element shapes and body shapes, would be impractical to animate, but since this is an illustration, I can just go crazy with it. Inking the tail hair was probably the most challenging thing about this redesign because I couldn't get it the way I wanted to look right away, but finally I did it. My goal with these redesigns is to make each pony more distinctive and to break away from the mold to make something which I think looks slightly better. I still want them to be recognizable. In part, this is easy as each pony has their distinctive color palette and their cutie mark. However, for some ponies I will be tweaking those. Speaking of which, I decided to redraw Rarity's cutie mark since her element already has multiple blue jewels in that simple shape. Her new cutie mark is a more classically shaped diamond. You know that Rarity would totally be into vintage stuff and love old Hollywood movies, which is the things that diamond shape reminds me of. Then I broke up the diamond shapes into triangles to give it a more interesting structure. Then comes the coloring. I made her fur a more silvery shade than just plain white. My favorite color is actually purple, so I was of course going to leave the purple in. I was tempted to make her hair lighter and more pastel, but then I decided that it wouldn't go well with her personality. Instead, for her highlights, I used a magenta and orange color, which actually went really well together, and it put some warmth into her palette, which I think was missing before, because a lot of her design was very cold colors, and I think she needs that warmth. I darkened her hoofs and the tip of her ears and horn, just to give an extra punch to her design and not just give her a plain white body. Of course, I gave her that blue eyeshadow, but I darkened it to match her eye color exactly, and this made her iris look bigger and more intense on her face. For the cutie mark, I shaded the diamond with 3 shades of blue, like she has originally. Then I add a bit more depth and color to the diamond and drew light refractions as a part of her mark, because I think having her literally dappled with light would be very pretty. Lastly, I did her element of generosity earring. Like her mark, the actual blue gems on her element also reflect light, this time on her hair, which looked super good. Since the gem on her mark and her earrings are surrounded by different colors, they also reflect different colors of light. But I'm happy to have a way to tie her earring design to her mark as well. Then I played around with the shading to add a bit more fur and added loose strands of hair, and voila! Rarity is ready and she looks gorgeous. Here are her 2 designs side by side so you can compare them better. Feel free to leave your thoughts about them in the comments, I would love to hear from you. You can also suggest which Main 6 pony I should redesign next. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you won't miss the other girls. Thank you so much for watching, bye bye.